making that right there.
I know.
That's where Channing went to school.
All right, sorry.
That's Country Day.
Okay.
That's the reason why I filmed that.
Okay.
She went to school there. I one time went there because Templin taught there. My drama teacher taught there. And he did musicals there. So when I brought David back home, that's the exact same place I cut myself with the scissors. I brought David back home from the hospital when he was born. Because David was born at a hospital called what is that called? It's in Irving. Anyway, there's a hospital in Irving. And that's the exact same spot. I did it with scissors. You did it with a straw. You okay?
I just want to know when I can put my arm down, please.
It's fine, I'm just vlogging it. It's just an interesting place to cut yourself. She cut herself with a straw. Right there. That's a Band-Aid, it should be fine. It's a care pack. You can put it down now, it should be fine. It's just a little scratch.
Put it down. Band-Aids?
No, your arm. I mean, you can do whatever you want with your arm. Care pack.
One limb becomes one.
So in life, the first thing is oxygen, then water, then food, then your mansion, then love. And love is a very mysterious thing because Jesus said it was. Jesus said the words, "I don't understand marriage." That's what Jesus said. He said, for all the theologians, he said, marriage is mysterious. It's the same thing. He said that marriage is a mysterious thing. The marriage between a man and a woman. It is mysterious. So he was saying, I don't understand it. Then comes the one and only, which is number 6. God. What does it say right there? All right, everybody. It's a little kitty cat. He made it across. Just
Hey, Sylvester. Hi. Good to see you, baby. Get back and see us.
Yes, we're back home. Big, happy thoughts.
Always happy.
So we'll say yes or no. I will be in charge.
And we got the magic mesh. So now we got the good magic mesh and the good wine. And I found a pretty good mask. All right, the day's not over. We still have laundry to do. But I am going to continue on with the play because the play is the thing. Played by Cole Spivey. Law and Sickness. She says, Italian what? Sniffles. Italian sausage and pasta. Ash. What made it in the microwave? Sniffles. Italian sausage and pasta. Ash. Cool. Lights down. Scene 32. Scene 33. Ash. You know, you can scare the fear right out of you. Did you know that, Sniffles? Sniffles. Yes. Yes. I know that, Ash. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Because they cut down so many trees where we're at right now, they brought in all these day laborers from Mexico. And the license plates were Californian. That's at the beginning of the show. The mosquitoes, yeah, they got her good. And she was sitting out on the patio.
5 minutes.
Because they cut too much of the trees down. And it brings out the mosquitoes more. They did that to be harmful. These were day laborers. These are people that are illegal citizens that are actually working for a criminal company. Because if you hire a day worker that's illegal citizen, then you're a criminal. It's a crime to hire what's called day laborers. Even if they're even a citizen, you still have to put them through a certain procedure because they have protocols that can be called. They have protocols that can be followed. Right? I'm talking about when you're a citizen and you work for a corporation or a company that's under legit circumstances, they have a protocol they have to follow. So day workers can come in and they can mess everything up and then they can leave. You can't trace it. There's no paperwork. There's nothing. That's a crime. So when you come into an apartment complex and you cut down all the trees and all that stuff, that's a crime. If you're not doing it legitimately and hiring legitimate workers with all the ID, all the paperwork, I guess they can have matriculate cards, but that still doesn't mean that they can work for a company that should be a corporation or a company that's legit, because they'll just cut down everything and do it wrong, and that actually hurts the people. This is Last Castle, okay? Last Castle is your home. If you're watching this, you're in your last castle. Now you can move to another last castle. So you can sell your home and move to another last castle. But if you got a bunch of day workers that are illegal aliens are going to show up and cut down all your trees, mess up your yard.
Shower, what should we do? It's getting bad.
We'll put some stuff on it. And when they do something like that, I try to run them off. I'm not going to lie. Because they got up right up next to our windows with chainsaws and went crazy. I mean, driving people crazy. And chainsaws right next to the window all freaking day long. And they haven't cleaned up the mess. There's tree branches all over. So many tree branches we couldn't get to the vehicle. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. Okay? Watch what you do. Watch what you're doing. I have to go through and edit all this. Watch what you're doing.
I'm itchy. What should I do?
I'm going to put some ointment on it. Okay? Now when we got the patio, there's mosquitoes all over the place. Because see, this is not Mexico, to my knowledge. Are we in Mexico? Okay. This is not Mexico. They can do that in Mexico, but when they come to Texas, let me put it this way. Those guys are going up north. They have 11,000 illegal aliens, immigrants, that are sent to the north. Let New York deal with them. Let Washington, D.C. deal with them. Do not come to Texas if you're from Mexico. If you live in Mexico, even if you have the paperwork, do not come to Texas. Don't. Go to California. Go to New York. Do not come to Texas.
I gotta jump in the cold shower.
The reason why is because they're going to send you up north. Do not. It's dangerous. Do not come to Texas because they'll send you up north. And if you come to Texas, they'll send you up north. That's dangerous for you. You know why? Because you can freeze to death. The United States of America, the U.S. and the United States of America will send you up north and you could possibly freeze to death. Do not come to Texas. Because when they apprehend you, because you're an illegal alien and they detain you, they're not going to send you back to Mexico anymore. They're going to send you to New York. And if you're not prepared, you can possibly freeze. And then if New York sends you to Maine, you will freeze. And if Maine sends you to Canada, you'll die. For sure. Canadians don't care about you. Stay in Mexico. Stay still. Don't come here for day work anymore. Don't come here to go to Home Depots and wait for work and jump on. Do not do that. Texas has had enough. They will send you to New York. Watch out. Okay, a citizen of the United States of America. Now, can you be a citizen of the United States of America and be a Texan? Yes, you can be. And what does a matriculate card, it's called a matriculate card, does that make you a citizen? No. You can still be an illegal alien and have a matriculate card. So if you work for a corporation and they go, All I have is a matricular card. And you hire that person. That sounded more like an Indian person rather than like from India. All I have is a matricular card. You cannot hire that person. That's not what a matricular card is for. A matricular card does not give you the right to work for a corporation. It doesn't give you the right to work for day labor. It doesn't give you the right to work for a contract. It doesn't give you any rights. A matricular card does not make you a citizen. A matricular card is really nothing at all. The only thing you can do with a matricular card is, it's pretty much like open a bank account. You cannot work on a matricular card. But I have my matricular card. Nope, that's not an ID. A matricular card is not a valid ID in the United States of America, nor is a matricular card a proper ID in the state of Texas. You cannot use your matricular card to get a license. You cannot, not legally. If you look at federal law, state law does not allow you to use a matricular card to get a driver's license. There are many things that you need as a birth certificate, as well as other things too. You have a certain number that you have to have when you're in the state of Texas and the federal government. So your matricular card is only there for really nothing. It doesn't do anything for you. You can open a bank account with a matricular card, but that's about it. You cannot work on that, okay? If you're staying out in Home Depot looking for day labor, okay, you're breaking the law. If you're a company that picks up your workers and takes them to cut down all the trees in an apartment complex, and then you get up on the roof and start banging noise and all this stuff and going in there and messing stuff up, you are an illegal company, a corporation that's a crime, hiring day workers and hurting them because you're not paying them anything. These companies pay them half the amount. And they don't know what they're doing because they're not following legitimate protocol that a corporation would have, hiring, and I'll just say it, hiring white people or Europeans that have all the proper paperwork that are here. I'm just being honest. If you're an illegal alien, go back to Mexico, okay, for your safety, or they're going to send you to New York City, or they'll send you to Canada. They're not going to deport you back to Mexico. You'll get lost in what's called the system. It causes damage to our country. It causes damage to our state because there's people out there that'll work for a legitimate corporation that's hired by people that have been doing it for 100 years, that have a legitimate corporation that will hire legitimate workers with the proper paperwork and follow protocol with a paper trail. So if you come in and you work on someone's whatever, it can be anything. It could be cutting down trees, whatever, and you're not working for a corporation that follows protocol, none of the work they did can be followed by any type of paperwork that's legitimate, not legitimate paperwork. There's really no work for you. No work for you, okay? There's no work. Go back to Mexico before you are sent to New York City or before you are sent up north where there's a possibility that you may freeze to death. We don't want that for you. You don't know how hard it is. I lived in Maine. You do not want to go up north. You do not want to be apprehended, put on a bus, and driven 3,000 miles up north. You do not want that. You don't understand that life. You understand Mexico. You understand the equator. Stay close to your home. Texas is dangerous. Sam Shepard once said Texas is tame. Texas isn't tame. Texas is dangerous if you're coming from Mexico, because they'll deport you 3,000 miles up north, and you don't want to go up there. I've been there. You don't want to go up there. No, so. No, señor. No, señor. You do not want to go up north. I would stay in Mexico. This is a warning. I would stay in Mexico. Don't jump the fences. Don't swim over here, and don't take day labor. We'll figure it out corporation-wise. We'll follow protocol. We're a paper trail, because those people should be sued. And also, and I'm going to be honest, one of them came after me. Okay, he tried to attack me. Linda was there. She was hiding behind some of the brushwork because we couldn't get out. What about it was an emergency and we couldn't get our cars out? They had a big truck from California, and they'll find out the license plates on my Facebook. They came from California, or they had a California plate, And what about, it was an emergency situation and we had to get in our car and leave. Like, let's say Linda was about to have her baby. She was about to have a baby, right? A little baby. Okay. What about Linda was about to have her baby? We had to get in the car and go, and you had your vehicle parked right in front of our vehicle. That's not protocol. A corporation would say you cannot go into an apartment complex and park your tree chipper or whatever it is, your truck, senor, your truck. You cannot park it right behind our bumper. Now, one of the day workers, the day laborers that did not speak any English, he could not speak English, pointed and showed me, and he was pretty smart. He showed me there's a little bit of room that I might could get out. The other guy was not allowing me to get out. He was trying to attack me. He was trying to put my life in danger. We were in a hurry and we were trying to leave. So he went after me. He said, "You gonna talk to me like man? I'll treat you like a man," or something like that, or something weird. He said something weird. I don't know what he said. And he came right after me. I told him to stand back. I said, "Listen, we'll call the police." Now listen, you know that I know there's police corruption, but they all have footage that they have to wear. Now, a lot of them don't. That's what scares me. A lot of them don't turn it on because you want everything. And, we want all the cameras on and everything. You don't want to have to do that because someone could be killed, okay? We don't know what they were doing with chainsaws, okay? But they were approaching me. So I had to run around the car. He ran right this way. I told Linda to stand back. I moved back and I hit 911, but I did not send it. So I showed him the phone. I said, "Look, I'll call 911. Stand back." They could not move the truck because they did not have the keys because they were day workers. Since they did not have the keys, the truck was blocking our vehicle. We could not get out. So they did not have the keys, so I understood at that point, and I calmed down. I said, "Okay," but he did not calm down. He was, "No, kid." I said, "Move the truck, move the truck." He would not move the truck. "Oh, Frank, you treat me like," he was on that. He was like, okay. So we're like, okay, we're in trouble. The only thing I could do is pretty much I could leave at that point, okay? So because of that one day worker that didn't speak English, even though it was a blessing that he actually just pointed and said, you might have enough room, and it put an idea in my head, we might could go, So even though he was a day worker, he was an illegal alien, he still was trying to help. He would probably have gone through way more to even get here, than what was going on. The other guy that spoke English, he probably was somewhat, to a certain degree legit. They're a criminal organization, or they were working for a company that's hiring day laborers, and they're criminals for doing that. I'm sure they got them a lot of beer. One of my friends used to do the same thing. It's not good to do. So finally, what ended up happening was, I said, "Linda, get in the car." Linda was afraid at that point. Linda was like, "No, I'm not getting in the car. These guys are crazy." And I was like, "I know they're crazy." So I stayed back, and there was brush all over the place. They didn't pick up any of their mess. We had so much brush, we had to carry all our stuff because we had laundry and all this stuff over all these trees that were cut down. All this, like the whole place was covered in tree limbs and all this stuff. I don't know who ordered it, but everything was like we could not get through all this stuff. We were like, "Wow, this is crazy. You can't trap people in." And they finally cleaned it up later on. So I was like, "Just hang back, hang back." And I was trying to get us out of there safe without having to call the police. But I already told him I called the police. I said, "Look, the police are on their way. The police are on their way." And he didn't care. He was still... So I moved back. So I kept my distance from him, mostly because of COVID, because I did not want to break the 6 feet. So he was trying to break the 6 feet. He was trying, and I was moving back. I was retreating. So finally she moved back. And then they went back to where, I guess, looking for the keys to move the truck. But they had no keys. Like, "So we have no keys." So they finally moved back, and I guess they were looking for the manager. And finally what ended up happening was I finally said, "Okay, get in the car and get in the car." And she finally said, okay. So she got in the passenger side. I got in the driver's side. We backed up, and we just did this thing, where you're moving back, and you're like moving back and forth, 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 back and forth. Little tiny inchworming. Moved around this way, moved this around this way. And they weren't waving us around or anything. They just left the truck there. There were blue bags. There were like these blue heavy like bags underneath the wheels of the truck, so they wouldn't be able to tow it, or the truck wouldn't move back and hit the fence. It was not safe at all. Finally moved back around this. It was like a big wood chipper truck thing with all this equipment on it, like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment on it. Finally, I moved back around, and I went through, and he's got his phone out like this, you know, recording me, and I'm recording him. So finally, we get around, barely, I'm talking barely, by the hair of our chinny chin chin. We finally get through. And who knows if they would have pulled something out and hit our vehicle or whatever, we would have got it. We would have got it on camera. At that point, I probably would have reported them to authorities. And we got to the errand, and I drove off, and man, I mean, I was upset. But you got it. There's a certain protocol that you have to follow when you're working at people's. You cannot put chainsaws right by the window. You can't sit there. I mean, it was okay for a while, but after an hour of it, whatever tree they were cutting down, that was enough. But you cannot do that. And another thing too is you cannot leave the brush, the tree limbs, in front of the walking path of the residents. You cannot leave it in front of their vehicles, and you cannot park your truck right behind where the bumper is. Those protocols were broken. We're a corporation that had legitimate workers with paperwork where they all could get in trouble, because none of them are going to get in trouble for this. Or they could all be in jail by now because they drink. They're alcoholics. And none of that can be followed. None of the paperwork can really be followed and what they did. There is another thing that bothers me too, but I'm not going to talk about it because it's so important to me that I cannot share it with you. But there's another thing that complexes, townhomes and apartment complexes can take from you that's absolutely essential. And the whole reason we were leaving, especially so early, or trying to get out of there, was because it was kind of an emergency situation. Linda was about to poop her pants, okay? And I was about to pee my pants. Well, I peed a little bit in the shower. So I'm not going to talk about everything in detail, because people can hurt you by not following the protocol. Apartment complexes can be sued, probably even, I don't know if it's the state, or they can be sued by lawyers. They can be sued for not following certain protocols. And we want people to follow protocol on things that they do. There's certain protocols that are out there, certain things that they have to do so that you're prepared for what they may do, okay? They can't just show up and just start cutting down trees and leaving tree limbs all over the place and acting like lunatics, leaving there's beer cans all over the place. I found some of the beer that they were drinking. They just leave it right there where you could step on it. That's not following protocol. A corporation can get sued. They can't. We can't go to Mexico and sue them because they hurt some kid out here with their truck. Some child could have got hurt or killed, and we can't go back to Mexico and sue them. We don't even want to go into Mexico. You follow me? Go back to Mexico, stay there. If you come here, we'll ship you to New York. You come here, we'll ship you to Canada. And it gets cold up there north. The place that we're at right now, you're supposed to be able to do the laundry. There's supposed to be laundry facilities, and they're supposed to work. So we have to find laundry facilities outside of the place because they lied about their amenities. What were you saying, sweetie? What were you saying? Sweetie, what were you saying?
I remember one and only time I took a bath with my mom when I was 5 years old.
You're talking about when you were a kid?
My grandpa, no, I wasn't a kid. I was 5. 4 or 5. I was at Grandpa's bathtub. I was to the right, she was to the left. She washed me. And then I remember asked her, like, what's that here? I
God bless you.
If you want to get this in the background, that's fine. Hello! Got my daddy. Listen. He worked at Kinlawn. He had a pee.
Her dad was in landscaping.
The first time with some weird blue tablet. I was like, Daddy, what's that? I don't know what he said. He just kind of like shoved me to the left.
So yeah, her father worked in landscaping. So Magic Mesh Hasn't worked out for us yet. This is our third try. But what we're going to do is we're going to reinstall it. So what I did to keep the threads in place is I put electric tape on it, and I put masking tape to keep the thread. The threads will get stuck on that too. And maybe some of the gnats that get in there will get stuck as well. So some of the gnats that get in there will get stuck. Stuck is the right English. Gotta have right English. I'm English. Stuck as well is what I meant to say.
Yes,
so you've got masking tape, and you got this. So this can get stuck as well, or the gnats can get stuck as well. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
All right. And we're stuck together in marriage under the blood of the Lamb. Here we go.
You're a big boy.
And yeah, I'm a big man. Look at this. Come here. Come here. Say, you're a big man.
You're a big man.
You say, you're the man.
A man.
I am the man. Now we're going to make pizza. That's what happens when you get assaulted by an illegal alien, or they have to be sent back to Mexico so that the family can be restored. And they'll be deported back to Mexico, but they should be deported in New York. So I'm hoping they'll be deported in New York. Then they can really live. All right. So I got it on 400. It's on 400. I'm just joking. Okay, well, I'm not joking about the New York thing. They can go to New York and fight it out there. Center rack is there. It's going to go on center rack. 22 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and put it. I don't even know why I use this thing, but we got the timer there for about, we'll say 21 minutes. I like it a little doughy. Say, hey, here's my Italian family. There's my rising crust. Now, we're going to put the whole pizza. I'm sure it was done by an Italian family, because they usually make the best pizza. They actually kill people over their ingredients sometimes. Well, that's a rumor. I don't know if it's true. It's probably not even true. I don't even really believe in the mafia. I don't really believe in any mafia, to be honest. All right. But they're probably there. We don't know. We've seen The Godfather. So we don't really know. But anyway. You don't really know the myth of the mafia. They're probably trying to run everything as a legit kind of company. And then they get into making this kind of stuff. And then they're legit. They don't have to worry about all the law or criminals and all the stuff they had to deal with, because they got into a good business and they stopped harassing other people and blocking them in, things like that. Okay? 400, we got about 25 minutes. And we're gonna put it on the rack. Gotta turn this thing on right here. Put it on the rack now. Let me see. I'll put this on there. We're gonna eat some yummy, yummy pizza. Okay. You can see some of that steam coming off of it right there. I'm gonna leave that tray in there to clean it. There it is. Be done in about. And if you're gonna work out and lose all the weight, you gotta have a washer and dryer, because you gotta wash that sweaty clothes, because you gotta sweat. You got a pizza. Eat the slice of pizza. You can eat the pizza. Probably do some of it improv. I like the idea of the original script. It's already posted. Yeah, the original script is posted. I think we can just go with that and just keep going with it. A lot of it's repetition of him finding the dead bodies, and the dead bodies can just be extras. We can pay them like $100 or $200. They'd be found like in the trunk of a car. We can get the car for the rental car companies. And those shots would probably have to be zoned. Then he drives the car to the field, picks the body out of the back of the trunk, walks it across the field, drops it through the door, which is going to be like a stage door, goes through the door down into the pit where that lamp will be on the bottom. that lamp would be at the bottom of the pit. So the lamp would just be, we get a generator for the lamp so you can see what he's doing. And no black and white, we'd do color because I like the color of that lamp. Did you get a pizza? Okay, she got a pizza. Okay, slice of pizza.
Do you understand that? Now, at the end, he hired people like that because they were cheap labor.
It's called day labor. It's legal.
Shh. How do you know?
Because it's a crime.
Well, my dead daddy did it. Whatever.
Day labor is a crime. Because they don't have health insurance. They don't get to claim.
Nobody has health insurance in America. Get the fuck over it.
They don't get to claim social on it. It's illegal because these are
listen to me.
my shorts.
My dad.
It's illegal.
Did everything.
It's illegal. They don't get health insurance.
Home Depot, probably pull in the park.
A day laborer does not get social.
And everything. My dad did everything.
They kill some of those day laborers.
And of course you get paid child.
You know why? Because they give them too much beer.
Loser.
No, they give them too much beer.
Whatever.
They get them really hooked and they end up dying in their sleep. Because day labor is cruel. Because they're not treated. Because a company can get.
You know what? I'm mad at my dead daddy because he never paid child support, supposedly. But I don't know.
Well, you know what?
Because I was a child.
Child support is also cruel.
When your children get older, how can they know actually if you pay child support or not unless you look into it?
Okay, listen.
My dad paid child support. You listen to me now.
Child support is cruel. Because, look, it's welfare money. They get it whether they pay it or not. It's cruel.
What?
It's better just to stay together and to take the money from the husband when you're all together.
Do I know for a fact? You go down between moms and dads and stuff. Oh, no. Grandma's eating some money for Christmas stuff. No. It's all about the he says, she says bullshit. Just like the freaking song.
It's just cruel.
No. What's cruel?
Child support's cruel to take money from an ex-husband.
He paid with a money order at 7-Eleven all the time.
No, the ex-husband has enough.
Where's the facts? Where's the facts?
The ex-husband has enough problems to deal with.
I was too young as a child to say,
She talks over me to get her
Are
way.
you paying by child
The
support?
ex-husband has
Daddy,
enough
are you paying by
problems
child
to
support?
deal
No.
with.
I don't even know my dad paid
The
for
ex-husband
child support.
has
So
enough
shut
problems
up.
to deal with by being abandoned by the wife. Child support is cruel. It should be a welfare issue that comes from the government, and no social securities should be drawn from. No social security number should be drawn from on any domestic issue because it's a separation between church and state. It's a separation between church and state. Marriage is church, the state is the devil.
I have no record. Did my dad pay child support? I don't know. My mom could use it for other stuff.
He did not.
I have no
My
record.
father
I have
did
no
not
record.
pay child
Back in the
support.
90s.
It was
Back in the
created
90s.
in 1974 by Gerald Ford. It was created in 1974 by Gerald Ford, a year after I was born. It was there, just like the Chinese are preventing people from procreating. It was created to stop procreation. That's why child support was created in 1974. It did not affect the baby boomers. They did not enforce it until probably the mid-90s or late 90s. And it's cruel. And gay.
The sausage? No.
It's gay.
These kids are smart these days.
Child support's gay.
I don't know if my dad paid child support because I never asked.
It's
I
gay.
didn't think about it.
Child support is
Kids
gay.
finally asked about
Child
support
support's
right now,
gay.
and what is Angel saying about
There's a
you?
separation between, she's part of the gay nation, Angel is. So is her mother. They're LBG. And they belong to the church. It's gay.